Boredom, that uncomfortable feeling of nothing to do. For most parents and educators, it's something to avoid.
But what if boredom isn't a void? What if it's a secret ingredient for creativity? In today's Boost and Bloom episode, we'll discover why giving kids the space to be bored may actually be one of the most powerful things we can do for their imagination, problem-solving skills, and even emotional growth. Let's start with what boredom really is. Neuroscientists define it as a state of low external stimulation, a kind of mental pause when tasks or surroundings fail to fully engage the brain. During these moments, a fascinating network called the default mode network, or DMN, becomes active. This network is linked to daydreaming, reflection, and creative thinking. In children, boredom allows the mind to wander, experiment, and make unexpected connections. It's not emptiness, it's preparation for innovation. So, how exactly does boredom fuel creativity? Research highlights several key mechanisms. First is mind wandering and associative thinking. When kids are bored, their minds naturally drift. This mind wandering helps form new associations and novel ideas. In fact, studies show that people perform better on creative tasks right after a period of boredom. Second, boredom acts as a powerful motivator to explore. Think of it as a signal from the brain telling your child, something's missing. This gentle nudge encourages them to get up, explore their environment, experiment with new things, and discover possibilities they wouldn't have otherwise considered. It pushes them out of a passive state into an active one. Third, from a neuroscience perspective, boredom helps balance the brain's need for prediction with the drive to explore the unknown. Our brains love to predict what's coming next, but true learning and creativity happen when we seek novelty. Boredom encourages children to seek that novelty for themselves, rather than passively consuming it from a screen or a structured activity. Fourth, boredom builds emotional resilience. It helps children learn to tolerate mild stress and discomfort. Learning to simply sit with that feeling of having nothing to do builds patience, self-reliance, and the crucial skill of self-regulation. And finally, even in our digital age, boredom is incredibly beneficial for learning. Recent studies have found that brief periods of boredom can trigger positive mind wandering. This isn't just zoning out. It's a reflective state that leads to creative problem solving and deeper thinking. In short, boredom is a mental playground, giving children the space they need to imagine, explore, and innovate. Now it's important to understand that not all boredom is beneficial. Research shows that boredom works best when children are under-challenged, not overwhelmed. For example, giving them a task that is too easy or just providing unstructured free time is far more effective than giving them a task that is too difficult and frustrating. The sweet spot is creating a mental space where children can reflect, explore, and daydream without being overburdened or stressed out. Let's look at the developmental benefits this creates. When left to their own devices, kids engage in imaginative play. They invent games, create elaborate stories, and generate their own internal stimulation instead of relying on external sources. They also learn self-regulation. Tolerating boredom teaches patience and emotional resilience, skills that are vital for navigating life's challenges. Through boredom, children also begin to explore their own identity. Without a schedule telling them what to do next, they discover their own likes, dislikes, and unique strengths. And perhaps most importantly, they develop incredible problem-solving skills. Unstructured play is creative thinking in action. How do we build a fort with these blankets? What story can we tell with these rocks? In essence, boredom is the canvas upon which children paint their own ideas and skills. So how do we, as parents and educators, use boredom to boost creativity in a practical way? First, limit constant stimulation. It's crucial to set aside unplugged time, no screens, no structured tasks. Just allow kids to experience unstructured moments where they have to figure out what to do next on their own. Second, provide open-ended materials. Simple tools like blocks, cardboard boxes, paper, and drawing supplies inspire creativity far more than pre-made kits that have a single, defined outcome. The goal is possibility, not perfection. Third, encourage mindful boredom. We can teach children to recognize the feeling of boredom not as a problem, but as an opportunity. Ask them, I see you're feeling a bit bored. What could you do with this free space? This reframes it as a positive state. Fourth, promote outdoor, free play. Nature is the ultimate boredom booster. When kids are outside, they invent games, explore their surroundings, and engage their imaginations creatively without any digital prompts. Fifth, model healthy boredom yourself. Show your children that adults can also embrace stillness. Let them see you daydreaming, sketching, or just quietly thinking. When we lead by example, we show them that it's okay not to be busy all the time. And finally, use boredom as a creative prompt. If a child says they're bored, instead of handing them a tablet, offer a gentle, open-ended question. Something like, if you could build anything in this room right now, what would it be? Or, what story would you tell if you were the hero? These questions spark the imagination without giving them the answer. Of course, some caution is needed. Chronic or overwhelming boredom can backfire. Children respond to it differently. Some will thrive and become incredibly creative, while others might get restless, anxious, or act out. The key is to find the right balance, enough free space for their imagination to flourish, but also providing the guidance, support, and safety they need to feel secure. History is full of inspiring examples of boredom-sparking genius. Albert Einstein famously credited much of his creative thinking to daydreaming. Many childhood inventors, writers, and artists report that unstructured free time was absolutely crucial to their development. The very same principle applies to our children today. When we give them the chance, boredom ignites their imagination and unlocks their potential for innovation. It's not about neglecting them. It's about trusting them and giving their minds the space to bloom. Thanks for watching this episode of Boost and Bloom. If you found this helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with other parents and educators. See you next time.